What is happening, friendly ghosts, friendlies, and non-friendlies? How is everybody doing? Hopefully you're all having a wonderful New Year's. In the year 2025, I am still discovering new things about Soul Edge, and it's pretty cool. So this game has like just hotkicks, or perfect hotkicks, if you will. So if you do a normal hotkick, it doesn't launch. And I feel like I knew this a long time ago and I just forgot. I'm just like, I'm looping around information that I forgot. But yeah, so there's a perfect hop kick. If you time it right, you get the short hop kick and the big hop kick all together. And for some characters, it doubles the damage. So if you time it right, that's what it looks like. Right? Instead of look at the damage right there. Instead of just getting this, right, and nothing else, instead you get timing is pretty tight. Instead, that's what you get, right? So to do this, you just have to hold up, whether you're holding 8 or 9, this is up or up forward. You have to hold it like towards the peak of the short hop, right before it transitions into the big hop, the big jump. I like to time it by like the moment of impact is like where I try to time it. So kind of treat it like a just input. And it's pretty consistent. But still tricky to get to land, So hop kicks or even buffer than I originally pegged them for. But of course, not every character has this perfect hop kick. Some characters don't have it. Like Rock, for instance. Yeah, he just doesn't have it. He doesn't get double damage off of his. He doesn't get the free knockdown. And I hate to be beating the dead horse with this, but if we just look over the characters who don't have it, everyone except for the characters I said didn't have it has it, right? Taki doesn't have it. But on the bright side, every character does get it. I was running this test because I was finalizing my big old informational overload of how to play Soul Edge. A lot of intricate details and whatnots that are very valuable. So Sophia doesn't have it technically. I don't think she doesn't have it. Alright, I tried it. She doesn't have it. Right. Yeah, so I don't think she has it. And her up forward is that. And you see kind of, if you let go too early, she goes from doing the big hop kick and she goes back into the front flip. You can kind of see her transition right there. So yes, Sophie doesn't have it. But every character does have it when they're disarmed. Right, every character does have it when they're disarmed, so it behaves a bit differently. You don't get the double damage, but instead of getting that as a reward, instead you get a hop kick, which is your best defensive tool, especially when you're disarmed, and you get a free knockdown off of it. Right, not only free knockdown, but get the goddamn, it's hard. You get to change your position on the stage. Right, you get to send them off of you. It's easier to just hold up and do it. Look how much distance it clears. It's quite a bit. Right, so you get to do something like that. But also, it doesn't. Remember, I said it does double damage, but when you're disarmed, it doesn't do double damage for some reason. So it actually still does, but it operates differently. It seems to trigger when you're in a juggle state, or maybe has like a higher hitbox or some shit like that. But you do have combos when you're disarmed that does lead you to a juggle state, so it actually buffs your disarmed combos and make them pretty strong. So this would be the normal combo, your highest damaging combo. And if you put like a marker there, just put your mouse there if you can, and try to keep track of the damage, and we'll reset it. Okay, so now I'll try to get the perfect hop kick. And you see it's a bit more damage, right? As if the hop kick hit twice. And that's just a little neat sauce for Soul Edge yet again. So disarmed combat is actually it's gotten stronger. And for those who don't know, hop kicks when you're disarmed is buffed across the board. People say that disarmed combat is like one of the things they hate about the game because you suck when you're disarmed. But there's actually some benefits to being disarmed, like your jump in attacks or your landing attacks, whichever you want to prefer to call it, are buffed. So if you look who recovers quick the first, Sophie actually is plus on her jump in kick. And this is the case for each character when they're disarmed, right? Because every character disarmed has the same moveset, same frame data.
You win.
So characters who suffer from having bad jump-ins would then get a buff jump-in when they're disarmed. So in this case, I'll be characters like Myong and Taki. They would have a buffed jump-in where they normally don't have one. Characters who have a bad hop kick, like Siegfried, we'll just do this real quick. His hop kick is notoriously horrendous. One of the worst in the entire game, along with Valdo and Rock. So we're gonna set Siegfried's hop kick real quick. Save it here, I guess. So his hop kick on hit, launch punishable, and on block you can super his hop kick. He's eating a full combo when he successfully lands a hop kick. However, when he's disarmed, his hop kick becomes relatively safe. So it gives him a defensive tool that he normally doesn't have. So there are benefits to being disarmed for certain characters. It differs per character, mind you. Characters who already have a great jump in or great hop kicks might get nerfed slightly, like Sophia, who has the best hop kick in the game, which is unpunishable by anybody. Hers becomes slightly more punishable.
Time's up. You win.
But she also gets the advantage of having the female version of Disarmed, which gives her a let's just do this real quick.
Out of the ring.
Disarmed is differentiated between female and male. So one of the main strengths that the females have of being disarmed is they have one of the best ring outs in the game.
Out of the ring. The grueling battle ends with the victory of Sophia. You win.
I'm sorry.
Also, she gets the perfect hop kick thing that we talked about. Every character gets it. So Siegfried's hop kick is tremendously buffed because of this. He does take chip damage. That's a trade-off. But also on the flip side, he gets better punishes, and other characters as well who this might apply to, usually the big, slower characters who don't have, very fast buttons. They actually get better punishes for when they're disarmed. So again, more advantages. Sophie's is hard to punish no matter what, so that's not really a big deal. But let's say you were in the corner. He does this. You might be able to get like a AA out of it with the weapon, which would be something like that. Or he has like a 4-frame button that you might be able to get. Nothing too much. But when you're disarmed, instead you get this. You know, when you're disarmed, you get unique punishes, and sometimes they're better than they would normally be. So Sophie gets a hot pick that knocks down as if she needed it. Those are really your best tools when you're disarmed, is jump in and hot pick. So the fact that there's a way to buff it, it's pretty good. When you're in the corner though, disarmed, it acts differently. Like it hits twice and
Time's up. You win.
like sometimes it does more damage, sometimes it doesn't. But also on counter hit, there's also a bonus when you counter hit with it. So instead of you getting that knockdown, instead what you get is
Out of the ring.
get a launcher or a knockdown.
Battle ends with the victory of Sophia. You win.
Right, so that's
Out of the ring.
extremely strong. And look at the damage on it too. And it's also cool because the hop kick is like, it's like your lifeline when you're disarmed. You know, I think that's a fair trade-off. When you're taking chip damage like this, you're taking chip damage. You know, I think that's a fair trade-off. You know. And then your combos again. There we go. That's pretty cool, you know. And again, females, their throws are pretty weak. Their throws are pretty weak. And oh yeah, oh that's not even the max damage. The max damage is getting the stun with this. Damn, look at that damage for an unarmed. Look at that, that's like 40% unarmed. That's crazy. Yeah, that's about the same amount of damage you would get with the weapon. Right, that's about the same amount of damage you get. Let me see. Yeah, that's actually more. You know, so certain situations you actually just get more damage. You know, very specific though. Right, very circumstantial, but characters do get better punishes when they're disarmed, depending on a character, you know, so it varies. Like for instance, also their movement speed also changes. But one thing's for sure is he did get faster. He did get faster. That's one thing, right? So some characters do just flat out just get buffed in areas.
Time's up.
Not getting a useful hop kick. Right, on one instance, Sophia got slower. Right, so that's one thing. She did get slower. And Rock did get faster.
Battle 2.
That was pretty much the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll show off one cool combo, I guess. I don't know if I showed it off in the past already or not.
To the stage of history.
But Li Long is very, 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 very strong. First thing I want to show off is the link combos in this game. Not every character has one, but do every character has one? No, not every character has one. But some do, and for Li Long, it's this 6K right here, which you can see the visual stagger of it right there. It doesn't work mid-screen, mid-screen. Because it leads them too far. So for this one specifically, you have to be towards the edge of the ring, which is still pretty good, right? You can't get hot pick and just ring them out. Even though that would be good. But what you do get is some pretty good damage. Right. So that's what you get. Pretty beefy damage right there. Right. And it's also, you know, it's fairly strict. It's not the strictest thing, but it's fairly strict. It's fairly strict. You know. And you miss it a couple times. You might never hit it. And the next one I wanted to show off is oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah. His damage. So I think Lilong is like kind of the Akuma of this game. You know, he's pretty much an all-arounder, right? He has I have this game listed in like 3 classes, right? There's the long range class, usually for big bodies, long weapon reach. There's the middle class, which is Mitsurugi, which is just like balance overall. And I kind of classify it as having good Bs and a 2K sweep that is just something you just throw out and it knocks down like that. Notorious weapon for him. Right, so I classify that as part of the balance tier or balance class. Have to have this knockdown 2K. One of the best sweeps ever. One of the best sweeps ever. And then the other class is the lightweight class, which is just good up close. Tend to have great A's. And they're just good at applying pressure. So I have Lilong listed as a lightweight, but also as a balance class. Because he has great A's, 5 frames, based on my scaling, which is based on the rest of the roster. It may not be completely accurate by the number, but is accurate based on the trajectory of the rest of the cast. So we have a 5 frame A, which is one of the fastest. Not the fastest, but one of the fastest is 4 frame. Mitsurugi also has a 5 frame A, but we'll get to that point because Lilong also has a knockdown 2K. So, you know, he also has the same thing as Mitsurugi. You might even say it's better than Mitsurugi's. But then Mitsurugi has that follow-up to it. So, you know. So, Lilong's a bit of a hybrid, in my opinion. He doesn't necessarily excel at applying pressure, but he does have a great A's and, you know, he's kind of one of the fastest characters as far as attack speed. This is also 5 frames. It's another high. And it's like his highest damaging combo fielder. So he gets great damage on pretty much anything he does. Even as a stray counter. You know, it's not hard for him to get damage. There we go. Took a minute. He also has this. It's based on your spacing and the attack you do out, I think. that's pretty much 50% off of that alone. That's crazy right there. Like 48.5% off of that. This is the mid, by the way. But the big damage of Li Long, and what we get to is right here. His crumple. His crumple right here is dangerous. Is dangerous. You can guard impact it, so that's one thing. You can't guard impact Mitsurugi's. Right, because it's technically an elbow or a punch. Mitsurugi, Li Long's is a weapon though, so you can impact it. But it's also just one of the most deadly attacks in the game, because when it counter hits, you know, when it counter hits, you just lost.
The grueling battle ended with the victory of Li Long. You win.
Legit can just
Battle
2-touch
2.
you.
Fight.
Legit just 2-touches you.
2. Fight.
Yeah. So the downside of Li Long is that he's just kind of just like he does do a bit of everything, but not quite as well as everybody in those classes. Like, he has a good 5-frame A, you know. Press it at the same time. Like, Mr. Boogie's is supposed to be 5 frames too. Let me just test this real quick. So back him up a bit right here. So I'm pressed at the same time, they should class. And that's what happens. Like, I don't know, this game is like Mr. Li Long's A, I guess, is just longer reach. And so what happens is some weapons that are on the same frame is because they hit earlier on, they hit closer, and Li Long's hits further away. So even though they're both technically 5-frame buttons, the range matters. So Li Long technically has more range than Mitsurugi, especially if we factor in the speed. So Li Long's 5-frame is a 5-frame with more distance. Mitsurugi's 5-frame is dependent on being close.
Time's up. You win.
He's like a lightweight type of character, but he doesn't really get that much pressure on you. When he starts getting to his bag of moves, it starts leaving him like in odd situations, like, and a lot of his moves outside of his A and this, which are both highs, outside of those two, is when he starts, you know, he's not that quick, you know. Outside of these two moves, he's not really that quick. So while he is quick because of it, both of those are high, and everything else he has is just kind of just like, you know, it's middle tier class. But also, he doesn't have the reach of the middle tier outside of just having the speed advantage with this. That's reaches, but it's not a move you want to do out. You know, it's not a move you want to throw out. You know, it's not a move you want to throw out, even though it does have reach. Whereas Mitsurugi does his, and it's like, not that. He does his, and that's like nothing you do to punish that. You know. So Li Long is kind of caught in like in the middle of the road. He's got pieces of the best of both classes of speed and being a lightweight and having the tools of a middleweight, the balanced class, the all-arounders. Outside of that, his game plan is just like trying to kill you in 2 hits. You know, he's not somebody who's going to just outright beat you by just like poking you to death. He has a great backdash, which is why he's mainly in the lightweight class. He has one of the best backdashes in the game. Oh yeah, here's another thing. He has one of the best grab reaches in the game. One of the trade-offs of Myong is this game having damage tiers. All of his best tools that we talked about, all of his best tools are assigned to like a big punish. So if we go to practice mode, it'll show it off. Okay. Let's go green Taki. Green Talkster.
Versus Taki. Fight.
Okay. So first thing, I rounded the numbers up a little bit and said 25%, 50, and I rounded up a little bit. It's actually like 24.7 or something like that. But you'll see what I'm talking about. So there are different damage tiers in this game. As we can see, the blue percentage at the top is showing 100%. Right, when I hit her, it's 100% damage, right? However, you notice that there is a recovery bonus if I hit her on recovery of a move. So that's 104%, 0.5. 104.5%. Right, 104.7. The move kind of differs for what you hit her with, but is typically just minor percentages. You know? Right, 104.9. Right, so the move that you hit them with does matter a bit, but the recovery of her A gives me a whiff punish, a recovery bonus damage, right? So this game rewards you for punishing somebody. 104% and 100%. Punish the recovery, 104. Right? However, so remember that it was a 104% 0.5 for the recovery punish of, you know, a regular A. Alright, so pay no attention to that. And there's 109% for that. So I rounded up to 110. But you only get it if you punish them. Only if you were punished with the recovery.
Out of the ring.
So
The grueling battle ended with the victory of Myong versus Taki. Fight.
So the difference between those two right there, between these two, is I found that there is a distinguishing of different type of moves that you throw out based on the character's move. It differs for each character. So I rounded this up to a 5% increase for a standard whiff punish. These are basic moves. Your standard neutral buttons. And for your big buttons, command moves, differs per character again. You take a plus 10% increase for your recovery punish. So it depends on the move that you are throwing out. So that's something that I think is unique to Soul Edge. And again, normal counter is 25%. But if we throw out the big guns, 50%. Again, I've chalked this up as the game having two different distinctions for the type of moves that you throw out. There's a standard version, and then there's a big version, right? Standard counter, then there's a big counter, and it depends on either, you know, the character's moveset. You're gonna have to learn those by learning them somehow, or, you know, just read what I wrote down, because I jogged it all down and have everything listed. And you know that each character has, you could judge their matchups based on these extra details that probably aren't in other fighting games. Maybe they are, but I think this is pretty cool. You know, so depending on how big of a risk you're willing to take, you know, you could end up losing half of your life bar with one choice. But if you play it safe and you still make a mistake and you still get punished for it, you'll take less. And I just think that's pretty cool. So basically, Li Long is like a bit on the unfortunate side, where all of his moves end up in the 150% side of damage that he takes. So all of the key moves he does, like his crumple right here, like his this move, almost every character's launchers are considered a big punish. This move, pretty much all of his key moves are considered, you know, big punish. And so effectively, he just doesn't have as much of a potential life as other characters do. But because he does have the ability to kill you in 2 touches, because he does have the ability to almost take away like 80% or maybe like 79% with just a single counter hit, it does kind of make it a bit, you know, redundant, you know, or a bit not as meaningful that he has, you know, one of the worst life pools in the game, potential life pools, because he can just level you down to the same thing. You're going to die in 2 hits, and he technically has the life advantage over you because of that. So his weakness is technically not that relevant, but it also is like a, you know, deterrent to him. Like his matches against Li Long are probably going to end pretty quickly, because he's going to die quickly and you're also going to potentially die quickly. So that's just kind of the game he plays. And I guess we'll end off on a cool combo. So this character is technically stronger than Li Long. It's not as easy to land as Li Long's, because his is, you know, it's a bit more linear, and, you know, but it's still possible. So Huang has this attack. That's like a Mitsurugi and Huang staple, is having this 6/6 A plus B. Very strong, safe, advancing mid. Han also has it, but it doesn't knock down. It doesn't knock down because it's a 2-parter. And it is way more damage, as you can see. 50% just off of that alone, just about like 49.9.9 on counter hit. You don't have to commit to the second part. So it will look something like that. So now you can follow up with something else. Right, something like that. And that's not as strong as Li Long's. That wasn't the combo. So we're just gonna go through the reps. This is what I thought his max combo was right here. Right. Pretty tight combo. Pretty tight to pull off. It's about the same damage as Lilong's. Just about. I can't really say it, but that's not his max combo. So his max combo is actually doing this. You get it twice. You get it twice. So that's his max combo right there. You know.
The grueling battle.
So yeah. And that's even more damage because you get to jump in with it. Another thing about Lilong's jump in isn't stronger than his ground version of OTG. It's pretty cool, you know. And if they do like let's try to get a big counter with it. Right. Just a bit more damage, more closer towards the 90% area. Which means he kills you off of... not quite. Let me kill you off this. Probably kill you off of that. Yeah.
The grueling battle ended with the victory of guest fighter. You win.
Right. Cool stuff like that in Soul Edge. The game just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody knows about it but me and you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. So, some cool Soul Blade facts. Yeah, some Link combos. Oh yeah, we might as well go over Seong Mina while we're here. While she doesn't hit as hard as the two we just covered.
Battle 1. Fight.
She doesn't hit quite as hard as the two we just covered. She is like third right behind them. Right. Which is really not that big of a difference. Can she kill you after this? Let's see. Can she kill you after this? Off of her launcher's safe, by the way. Which is something those other two don't have, a safe launcher. Yeah. Same thing.
Battle ended with the victory of Seong Mina. You win.
So she pretty much does the same thing, right? Yeah. Let's see. Does her throw kill you? Holy shit, that does a lot of good. I hope not. There's no way that's guaranteed. There's no way that's guaranteed. What about this? Oh my god. All of her throws do so much damage. And the fucked up part is if they try to get up here.
grueling battle ended with the victory of Seong Mina. You win!
なめないでよね。
Right. So anyways. Just kill off of this. No. What else could she kill you with? This move is also safe, by the way. This move is safe. It's also mid. This is also mid. Never mind, it's not a mid. Thought it was. Wait, isn't that a mid? It is a mid. The fuck was that? Even just as imposing, he has a link off of this, which is a mid, restands, one block, safe. Not just safe, but it's like a net neutral, maybe like -1 something. But anyways, she gets just anywhere on the stage. Anywhere on the stage, she gets this link. Maybe just like a crouching only thing. There you go. I thought I was tripping. Maybe it's like spacing. Maybe I gotta space it better. Thought I was going crazy. So she gets this anywhere, but it has to be spaced a bit. Just enough. Not one backdash away. Right, just half step away. It's pretty cool. Soul Edge is pretty cool.